I'm Jake Mansell with HHA Sports. Today we're going to go over the sight-in process for the Optimizer Lite X. So one of the key features that we added to the Lite X this year was the infinite adjust slotted slide bracket on the front end of the housing, which is going to allow you to really fine-tune your 20-yard mark to get the most out of your yardage tape. So at 20 yards, step number one is going to be to find your 20-yard mark while leaving the lever as close to zero on your setup tape as you can. So 20 yards, we're gonna make all of our vertical adjustments on the infinite adjust slotted slide bracket while leaving the lever at zero. Some of you may find that you have to move up a little bit from zero and your housing may be bottomed out all the way. That's all right. You may have to move up to 5, 10, or even 15 on that setup tape. Those are just indicator numbers, they're not the actual yardage numbers. So I've now shot at 20 yards and I've found that at 20 yards, my setup tape is at zero. So now step number two is gonna be to shoot at 60 yards. I'm gonna slowly work my way back out to 60 yards. So I'll shoot at 30, 40, 50, and then to 60. The reason I'm doing this is just to make sure that I'm on the target and I'm obviously not losing arrows. So I'm gonna really spend a lot of time at 60 yards. It's really important that you fine tune your 20-yard mark and your 60-yard mark, as that's part of the process for finding your appropriate sight tape. So I've now found that at 60 yards, I'm actually at number 35 on my setup tape. So I'm gonna wanna go into my sight tape packet and I'm gonna find sight tape number 35. I'm gonna take my 60-yard mark minus my 20-yard mark. So I'm gonna take 35, which was my 60, minus 0, which was my 20, and I'll get sight tape number 35. So I'm gonna go into my packet, find sight tape 35, peel that off. I'm gonna wanna make sure that 60 on the sight tape matches up with the 35 on my setup tape. So I'm gonna wanna make sure that I find 60 on my sight tape, and I'm gonna put that right over the top of 35 on my setup tape. So I take 60, my needle's locked down at that yardage, peel that tape, peel it all the way down. Find 20s at the bottom. I'm just gonna wanna take a scissors or a knife and trim that little bit of excess tape off. And you're also gonna find that you may have a little bit of extra yardage too, depending on your tape. Our tapes for the Lite X are gonna go from 20 to 80 in 5-yard increments, but you can mark off anything past that if you're able to get clearance. I now have my tape installed and I'm set to shoot from 20 to 80 yards. For more information on the Optimizer Lite X, you can visit our website at www.hhasports.com.